it's a Subaru.
I'm going first.
No, you're not. You went first last time.
Why are those lines on my floor?
A distance contest.
I already made it from this line.
For life's bleachable moments.
We're all aware of catastrophic storms that can knock out power to millions. Record snowfall that brings down trees and power lines. Even rolling blackouts caused by our nation's faltering electrical grid.
So how can you protect your home and family from all these uncertainties? How can you take control of the situation?
The answer is a home standby generator from Generac. It stands guard, ready to automatically supply power to your home within seconds of a power outage, whether you're home or away. And for a limited time, if you schedule a free in-home assessment by one of Generac's nationwide dealers, you can get Generac's 5-year full coverage warranty, plus the Mobile Link remote monitoring system with 1 year of monitoring service. A total value of $774 absolutely free. To qualify for the special offer, you must schedule your in-home assessment now. So call the toll-free number on your screen or go online to poweryoucontrol.com. This is a limited time offer, so act now.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
My kid's still in school.
And it just hit us.
This was it. The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things are just going everywhere. It was a nightmare. And then it was silent.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
It's that dangerous time of year when tornado season meets graduation season, and the last thing you want when a tornado hits, thousands of people gathered in one place. At Wichita State University, they're getting ready for the worst, but their arena shelter can only hold half the people attending the graduation. They may have to bus people to other shelters or shelter in place. They say it's all about keeping options open for those attending.
We give people the option. You can, when we cancel, you can go home. You can leave and find appropriate shelter wherever you may live, wherever you feel comfortable. You're welcome to stay in the arena and wait out the storm if you want to. We're not going to kick anybody out.
And speaking of storms, are we going to see them in the south as we head into the weekend? Well, 65 right now and really a beautiful sunrise. Look at all the color. Do you know what causes the different colors in the sky? It's the different particles. So that's why at the beach where you have these beautiful sunrises and sunsets, it's because you have the salt particles in the atmosphere. Or if it's a big city, you have a lot of smog and like crap in the atmosphere. Well, all that crap actually translates into beautiful sunrises and sunsets because of the way the light bounces and reflects off of all of that stuff that's in the atmosphere. So that's why, again, why the sky is even blue. It explains all of that. Okay, so here's a look at our weekend forecast into the southeast. In Atlanta, clouds on our Saturday, thunderstorms tally New Orleans, and into our Sunday, the storms are going to get into the ATL and the dirty, they call it the dirty south. I have absolutely no idea why. I don't know if it has to do with like the red clay, or staying on your clothes. That's always the worst when the red clay gets stuck on all your clothes. You can't get it out. Saturday, Boston, you're the cool spot. 68 degrees, Bangor as well on the cool side. New York, Washington on the warm side with thunderstorms again Sunday. We also are going to see those thunderstorms as well. Temperature staying about the same from one day to the next. Now, as we take you into the Midwest, showers and storms. Now, these could be at the severe limits, not only Saturday, but also into Sunday. We potentially could have a tornado outbreak this weekend. Our Torcons range from 3 to 5 for Saturday into our Sunday. A little bit lower on Sunday, more on the 3 end, but 4 to 5. And then on Saturday, more showers and thunderstorms here throughout the south. And again, everything moves ever slightly east as we head into our Sunday. Al, over to you.
Steph, thanks, and thank you for getting up early with us. AMHQ coming up next with Reynolds Wolf and Jen Delgado. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. We hope you'll join us. Enjoy the hump day, everybody.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 76. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And good morning on this Wednesday, May 13th. Sam Champion is off today. I'm Reynolds Wolf, and our headlines this morning, we've got them for you. First, talking about the drenching downpours in Texas. Houston, over 4 inches of rainfall, just pouring overnight. We've got a flash flood watch in effect all day there. Be ready for it. Also, we go a bit farther north in Dallas. Anaridis Rodriguez is live there with a report. Flash flood watch in effect there, too. We've got thunder boomers all the way from the Dakotas back to Texas. Then, temperatures tumbling across the Northeast. We've got a live look at Boston. High temperature of 62 degrees today with a 25-degree drop from yesterday's toasty temperature high of 87 degrees. And scent. God bless you, Dr. Greg. Sneeze. A scent of the storm. You know how it smells when it first rains? We're going to take a brainstorm look to see just what makes that weird smell. And why do we like it so much? But first, Jim Cantore is off today, so let's go to Dr. Greg with more on what we can anticipate in terms of the severe weather threat. Looks like some stormy times in Texas, my man.
Yeah, we got a special marine warning out for the coastal waters just offshore here of Corpus Christi, Texas, for the possibility of a water spout, and that may move inland over the next 15 minutes or so. There's a little curlicue here in the radar reflectivities, a supercell thunderstorm beginning now to move off toward the west. So watch out if you're Corpus Christi or Port Aransas. This storm is moving onshore and could bring a water spout, if not a tornado, once it gets on land. We'll have much more on that. Could be the beginning of an active day ahead across the southern plains. Reynolds, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, tough guy. We'll check back in with you in a moment. But first, we got to talk about a big cool down in parts of the Northeast. We're talking a 20-degree drop from just yesterday. Taking a live look at New York City. Let's send over to Jen. Jen, great times there.
Yeah, great times. Somebody dropped the bomb there because we're looking at temperatures this morning. Much cooler out there. I know yesterday and the day before you had the heat and humidity. You're like, what happened to spring? Well, spring is back as we show you a live view this morning of New York, 59 degrees. The skies are clear out there, but today we are going to be looking at the cool air staying in place. So you kind of have to adjust your dress pattern for today. As we show you for New York, yesterday you climbed to 86 degrees. It was smoking hot out there. For Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're going to continue to see the temperatures climbing back up. But as we noticed by Friday, we're going to see those numbers actually above average. So what has happened? Well, yesterday we had this front come through. We had all these nice southerly winds coming through, but that was bringing up the humidity. Now we see the front behind, and what's left behind is actually temperatures in the 50s as well as the 60s. 58 degrees in Boston, 58 degrees in New York. Boston, I have to point you out because your temperatures jumped more than 15 degrees in just 1 hour yesterday between 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock, and it got you into the 80s after a very cool and dreary start. For today, we'll show you a high of 62 degrees in Boston, 70 degrees in Philadelphia, and 73 in D.C. All these temperatures just running a couple degrees below average. Nothing really you're going to notice, but the shock in the system is really going to be as we look ahead from the next couple of days. Now, we want to talk about the dry air that's now in place behind that front with that wind coming in from the northwest. Now we're looking at gusty winds out there in dry conditions anywhere from Jersey up towards parts of Boston into southern parts of Vermont. We're looking at red flag warnings out there, and that means we're going to be looking at winds up to about 25 miles per hour. So that means no burning out there. Here's your forecast, D.C. You're slowly going to see those temperatures warming back up to 90 by Saturday. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
It's just in the middle of May, May 13th.
Very interesting with those temperatures, almost like going up a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
We're going to go from up those stairs to down south into parts of Texas where we have a flash flood warning in effect in Houston this morning. Hobby Airport, well, they picked up around 4.3 inches of rainfall between 10 o'clock last night and this morning. Heavy rain now shifting northeast and east of the city. Now, in areas around Dallas, the ground remains saturated from the excessive rainfall. We're talking heavy rain, folks. Up to 3 inches of rainfall possible through this evening. So following that, in flood control headquarters in Dallas, they're actually on alert right now for possible problems along the Trinity River. Now, the issue is a 1-2 punch from the runoff from the days and days of the heavy rainfall. And what's interesting is just upstream, we've got dam releases from places like Louisville Lake and into Lake Ray Roberts. Luckily, we've got Anaridis with us. She is live for us this morning along the Trinity River in Dallas. Anaridis, the city has picked up a staggering, it's hard to believe, 18 inches of rainfall so far this month, and we're not even halfway through May.
Can you believe it, Reynolds? Good morning to you and good morning to you at home watching. 18 inches of rain, and we're only on May 19th. That's 5 inches above average. We have a flash flood watch in effect until 1 a.m. tomorrow early morning, all across central and north Texas. As you mentioned, we're along the banks of the Trinity River, the beautiful Dallas skyline behind me. The Trinity River is actually on the other side of this landing. This particular landing, which is supposed to be grass, is overflow of the Trinity River. After this weekend's rain, the water levels were just above 35 feet, and that's 5 feet above minor flood stage. This morning, they're at 24 feet. But as you mentioned, if the Army Corps of Engineers continues to release water from the Lake Louisville and Lake Ray Roberts, which are above flood stage right now, we could have minor flooding issues here in the Dallas area. But some of this rain has been beneficial. Let's take you up north near the Oklahoma border to Lake Arrowhead, Texas, and you can see how this rain has been beneficial for this area. This is what it looked like in March, and if we could advance it and show you what it looks like now. I mean, some of those images looks like you're looking at the moon and not a lake. Look at it now, completely replenished, so that's a good thing. But we know that if you go a little further south into Cook County and Denton County, we do have flooding issues. In Era, Texas, students from K through 2nd grade are going back to school today for the first time because of last week's rain. They had a lot of flooding at the elementary school. And in Houston and Corpus Christi, we're seeing problems with the morning commute. We have a lot of road closures. So if you can check drivetexas.org for road closures before you head out the door this morning and save yourself a little extra time. And remember, if you come across any low water crossings, turn around, don't drown. We have a lot of those low water crossings across Texas. Reynolds, back to you.
Anna Rittis, great job as always. We're going to check back in with you. Sun's going to be coming up before long. Our live report from Dallas this morning. All right, think about this. With more than 4 inches of rain falling in Houston overnight, the morning commute, as you might imagine, could be very dangerous. We're keeping a sharp eye on roads this morning. Standing water. We've got wet roads making for a very, very messy morning rush hour. Heavy rain, well, it's expected to stick around for much of the morning. We've got widespread rainfall in parts of Texas moving to the east and northeast this morning. And Dr. Greg, the southern plains in for another round of severe weather this weekend.
Reynolds, that's exactly right. We have to watch out across parts of Texas today even for the possibility of some severe weather. Let's look at the map and I can show you where the severe weather we think will break out. Really all across much of the central state, from Midland, Del Rio, San Antonio, Austin, and in fact right now we have some maybe severe weather moving onshore near Corpus Christi. I'll get to that in a second, but find your spot on the map, and that's where we think the worst of all the storms will be today. Right now on the radar, for the most part, it's just a lot of heavy rain, right? We got a big swath here. We got some down here. Of course, Houston doesn't need any more. We have flash flood warnings there, but just to the east of Corpus Christi, I'm going to zoom in on that area right now because we had a supercell just offshore. You can see the hook echo a little while ago, right in there. That likely had some rotation in it. Actually, it did, according to the Doppler velocities. We're showing 100 miles per hour worth of spin inside of that. So there was likely, if not certainly, a water spout there. Looks like the rotation has weakened quite a bit on its sort of westward track, so that's good news, but keep an eye on it. We might see some more spin-ups over the next couple of hours. Farther off toward the northeast near Houston, look how much rain they've seen just in the last 24 hours. Over 10 inches of rain. Come on, they don't need any more rain. But unfortunately, with a very humid air mass in place, we're going to see more rain. Thanks in part to this culprit right here, this big swirling upper level circulation right out over the desert southwest. It's drawing a lot of moisture northward. And what it really represents is an upper area of low pressure, a cold pocket aloft. That upper level low right out ahead of it, that's where all the lift is in the atmosphere. So when you raise that very humid air mass, which is flowing northward out of the Gulf of Mexico, you know what that spells. That's a lot of rain. Very humid conditions over the Gulf with dew points there in the mid and high 70s. So timing it out across Texas, I think we're going to see a lot of rain for the next few hours. We'll start to see the increase of severe weather increase across parts of the western half of the state, Del Rio to Lubbock to Midland later on today as the sun comes out and destabilizes the atmosphere. Reynolds, back to you.
Dr. Greg, too much of anything is seldom good, and that's the case in Texas, especially in Houston, where this morning the commute is on and trouble is in the air. We've got a live report coming up in just a few moments. A lot of people, low-lying spots, very susceptible to flooding. That is the situation. Folks, keep it here. You're watching AMHQ.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 76. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And look at Atlanta, Georgia this morning. Starting out, overcast the time being, but look as we speak, you see a few clouds off in the distance, but man, it is going to be a nice, but yeah, steamy day. It's going to feel like Atlanta. Sunny skies, expected temperatures going up into the mid-80s. With the humidity, it's going to feel much warmer. Orlando, Florida. Temperatures going up into those 90s. So from there, the Big I, all the way over to the B-line, it's going to be a humid day. Might have some pop-up thunderstorms in the afternoon. All complements the sea breeze. Now the southeast from the Mississippi River all the way to the coast. We're talking warm, very muggy conditions. Jacksonville, Florida saw 92 degrees just yesterday. A temperature that can be deadly, especially for a child left alone inside a car. Now, on average, 38 children die in hot cars each year. So there are some things that we really would like you to keep in mind when it comes to your kids. It only takes minutes for a child to die from heat stroke. So make sure you put something that you'll need, like your cell phone, handbag, or briefcase, on the floor behind the back seat to ensure that you're going to see your child in the car seat. Also, another thing that's so vitally important, make arrangements with the child's daycare center or even babysitter, saying you're going to call if your child will not be there on a particular day. These are all things that are so vital. Florida law enforcement officials are looking into the death of a 16-month-old girl after she was reportedly left in a hot car yesterday. Columbia County Sheriff's Office responded to a 911 call saying the infant had been inside of a hot car and was no longer breathing. This is the second hot car death reported in the United States this year. Jen, temperatures in the southeast have fallen. We're going to be a few degrees cooler in many spots today, aren't we?
Yeah, it's going to be certainly much more bearable out there. And thanks to that front pushing through, we aren't going to see as humid conditions across parts of the southeast. I know it was getting a bit steamy out there. As we show you right now, we start off the morning pretty warm out there in the 60s and the 50s. You can see where that cold air is in place. And then across parts of Florida, we're in the 70s. But as we go through the afternoon, say hello to the 80s. They're coming back strong. 86 degrees for Atlanta, 91 in Jacksonville. A lot of 90s across parts of Florida, but Memphis 82 degrees and 84 degrees in Charlotte. So what we're looking at as we go through the next couple days, dry conditions out there for today, for Thursday, and then Friday. We start to move into some problems with the rain. As we show you for Atlanta, the rain coming in the morning, showers out there, temperatures cool off a bit, dropping down to 82 degrees. But the weekend, it looks like we're going to go back to that pattern of rainy conditions setting up for the weekend. As we show you for Friday, expect to see some showers and thunderstorms creeping in. Saturday, notice for areas including the Carolinas as well as into eastern parts of Georgia, Atlanta, we're going to be dry out there, but look at that rain for areas including Florida as well as New Orleans. And then into Sunday, we see those storms starting to work in over towards parts of the east a bit more, tapping into parts of the Carolinas, Charlotte, as well as into Nashville and then Tampa and Fort Lauderdale. You're going to be looking at some storms as well. And we're certainly going to be looking at that severe weather threat setting up for areas including parts of the plains and the Midwest for the weekend. Let's move that ahead. That is Sunday's forecast, and we continue to show you what's going to be happening is that rain starting to come down, but we're really worried about areas like Texas where we're hearing reports of flooding happening in Houston. Absolutely. That spurs our top story right now. Breaking news out of Houston, Texas. High water rescues in flooded roads in Webster, Texas. That's just in the southeast suburbs of the city. We've got Brandon Walker with us from Houston affiliate KPRC joining us right now. Brandon, what a morning it's been for you already.
Definitely, Reynolds. But, you know, right now we have a bit of a lull because it's not raining, and it hasn't been for about 2 or 3 hours or so since we've been out here. We're on a road called El Dorado, essentially, right off of I-45. This gas station, though, was pretty much submerged in water throughout the night. Most of these cars, in fact, have been here. The driver's telling me they've been here since about 10 o'clock last night when the rain, they say the skies opened up, the rain poured here, leaving them stranded. Some of these cars stalled out. They had no nowhere to go. We just spoke to one gentleman who told me that now that the water has subsided, he wants to go home, but he's got a flat tire. This way you can see that there is still some water accumulation, but not as much as it was maybe even 45 minutes ago. So drivers are pressing their luck trying to get out. But I want to show you something you actually can't see there in the distance, but I'm told there as you get to the on-ramp for Interstate 45, the water actually rises. So if you're in a truck, you can make your way to where you need to be. But if you're in a low-lying car, then it's going to be more of a challenge for you. And that's what drivers here in the area are dealing with this morning. You know, we've been around here throughout the morning, and at some point, in some cases, the water was as high as perhaps mid-calf, almost up to my knee. And that was maybe 15, 20 minutes ago. But we're seeing some rapid recession here as there's been a break in the rainfall here in the Webster area. Though, again, there is a threat for more rain as the day progresses. So people here who have been here all night are trying to get home in time for that to happen. And those who can't go, well, they're just hoping that the water continues to recede so that they can get out of here sometime soon. So that is the story here, Reynolds, from Webster, Texas. Some progress right now as we've seen the floodwaters recede. But again, you can still see some floodwater here, and in some areas the water is still even higher, though again, it's continuing to recede. Let's send things back to you.
All right, thanks so much. A little bit of progress, but you know what, we're going to take it. Got to find the silver lining.
Yeah, we do. And you know, you have to keep in mind, you know, we're just talking 6 inches, and a person can be swept away 2 feet. We're looking at a car. Even if you have that truck and you think it's so strong out there, it is nothing in comparison to force of that water out there.
Absolutely, so many
you know,
deaths.
so many areas out there. Wichita Falls, you're also dealing with flooding as well.
Yeah, it's going to be something. It's not going to be an easy fix because we've got rain in the forecast over the next several days, so we certainly had to be advised on that. By the way, folks, dangerously hot temperatures across the south, including in Georgia. An Army vet breaking a window to pull a dog out of a hot car, but his good deed gets him arrested. Come on.
No.
I know.
I would do the same thing. All right.
Got that story coming up. Plus, we're talking to Paul across the other side of the planet. Some issues that we have there. That story coming up in just a few moments. In Atlanta right now, the shot that we got for you.
Sunny skies. Beautiful.
Looking good.
So großartige Autos werden nur in Deutschland gebaut. So großartige Autos werden nur in Deutschland gebaut. So großartige Autos werden nur in Deutschland gebaut. Ach, verdammt! I said it 3 times and it's still not true.
Performance is now an American thing. Introducing the all-new Chrysler 200. America's import. Find it at Chrysler.com.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
It can be hotter than Death Valley in your attic. But that's still not hot enough to sweat out bugs. Take these boxes. They're not only perfect for storing old yearbooks and pictures.
You find something?
They're also a perfect food source and nesting material for roaches. That's why I identify their favorite snacks, like old books, clothing, wood.
Then I seal entryways and use the latest scientific methods.
Orkin, pest control down to a science.
Nutrition Smart wants you to be smart with your nutrition. Save more this month with 20% off Thursdays. That's right, get 20% off store-wide every Thursday this month. Shop the latest in organic fruits and vegetables, the largest selection of vitamins and supplements, and a variety of natural health and beauty supplies. Be smart at Nutrition Smart. Opposite side from Publix next to ABC Liquors in Palm Beach Gardens. Nutrition Smart.
Investment opportunity doesn't sleep. It's always up, always working. It's 9 a.m. somewhere, and opportunity is there having its second cup of coffee. You could crisscross the world to find it, or let Franklin Templeton spot it for you. We have over 600 experts across the globe, on the ground where it's happening. So no matter where or when investment opportunity emerges, we're actively at work to help you seize it. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
Real local.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas.
Real accurate.
This one's going to have some precipitation with it.
Real experts.
Wow, that's the leading edge of the thunderstorm.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on.
Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 76. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Rescuers searching for survivors of Nepal's second deadly earthquake in less than 3 weeks. Aid agencies say the quake has badly hurt efforts to help people already affected by last month's quake. 400 Nepalese soldiers focusing their search on a river area, and 65 people in Nepal confirmed dead, another 2,000 hurt. In yesterday's 7.3 magnitude quake, 17 people were killed in India. The quake was centered about 47 miles just the east of Kathmandu.
Yeah, these are all the aftershocks from the foreshock that we had just 2 weeks ago, and they're going to continue for the next 30 days, a year.
Absolutely.
You can see these in 7 range.
It's a place where you happen to see this quite a bit. You've got the Himalayan plate and you've got the Indian plate where they come together. You've got the subduction zone. Exactly. And it's an unstable place. And it does happen. Without that, though, you don't have the Himalayas. But still, awful situation there. Hey, let's switch gears a bit. Anna Riss is going to have the latest on what's happening with the Marine chopper that's bringing up. That's actually going to be headlines coming up. Another story that we have to talk about is the heavy rainfall we've had in Texas.
And you know what? It's almost like we're repeating what's happening, but we're not. And what we're looking at is another pattern setting up, just like what we had last week and the week before. Severe weather for the plains for this weekend.
Absolutely. Dr. Greg, it does appear that we're going to have something very similar, almost a carbon copy of what we had last weekend.
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, we had a lot of severe weather in the plains, and I think we're going to have a lot more coming this weekend. Let's go to Friday and look at our torcons for Friday. We've got 3s out there across the plains. I wouldn't be surprised if those numbers come up just a little bit. Right now, we're thinking 30% chance of a tornado within 50 miles of a location. But look what happens on Saturday. The numbers come up a little bit. We got 4s and then 5s across Kansas, right across the stripe there of the Central Plains. You see that we've got, I think, the greatest chance for tornadoes, but it's not just tornadoes. Remember, we've got all kinds of problems with heavy rain in Texas. We'll see more of that, I think. We'll see high winds and hail. So all modes of severe weather will be in play this weekend, and you can kind of see it evolving, can't you, on the the water vapor satellite imagery, showing you really well the motions at high altitudes right here. We got a dip in the jet stream out here, all kinds of little swirlies embedded within it. Don't worry about that. But the overall pattern that's there now is very similar to the one that we've had last weekend, with a trough in the west and the ridge in the east. Now, when you bring a trough in the west, that's a cold pocket aloft. It's got all kinds of wind energy around it. When you move that thing to the plains again, which we're going to see this weekend, you're going to reintroduce severe weather, and we're going to see that beginning on Saturday. Stormy times will return across the middle third of the country. At least, again, all modes of severe weather are in play, because when you look at the ingredients, my goodness, we got the juice coming north out of the Gulf of Mexico. This air is very humid air. Dew points in the 70s will be surging northward out of Texas. And then check this out. We've got this dry line here, which is basically the boundary between the very moist and the dry air. That is also an area where we see the focus for thunderstorms. We'll see that. We got a couple of fronts in here, so kind of they're all there. All the things are there. All the ingredients are there to show up again for severe weather on Saturday and also on Sunday. Look at this. We've got torcons of 3 across the western Great Lakes, all the way down through East Texas. So remember, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, stay tuned for all the latest, because it is going to get active once again. I guess no surprise, right? It is the middle of May. Reynolds, Jen, back to you.
Or me.
Or Reynolds.
It goes either
Jen,
way.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
Changing
Both of you.
We fluctuate quite a bit.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, fluctuate on this. You know the intoxicating scent that you sometimes get after a very refreshing rainfall? Well, believe it or not, that smell doesn't come from the rain at all. We're going to break that down in the science of all that in today's brainstorm. But before that, let's going to take a look at some of the social media pictures that are just coming in. You guys were nice to share them with us. Let's share them with everyone else. Look at this one. This one actually comes in from Houston. Ryan T. Willow sent this in. He says this is his front yard tonight. Look at that. Can you believe that? I mean, look how deep the water is. You can barely see the cars. This one, Jen, is spectacular.
That out of Oklahoma, and you can see right there, they said it is the mothership. That one is coming into us out of Oklahoma with the storms out there. And we're going to see more of those storms returning as we go through the next couple of days. Now, how about some more photos for you? We love it when you send these in, these social pictures. You can tag us at MyWeather on Twitter. And look at the lightning there from last night. This is out of Rochester, and it's just showing you the gorgeous cloud to ground lightning out there.
We'll see a lot more of that.
Yeah, right?
You think so?
Yeah, yeah, very much so. I think we'll see all kinds. We'll see lots of good lightning shots. This is going to be an area of the plains where we're going to see, you know, a lot of storms in a good open territory, which is good news, away from hopefully most people.
Guys, a tip of the cap to all the people who send on the great shots, and keep them coming, because we really do love and seeing what you guys take out there. Yeah, it's like nice seeing the world through your eyes. If you share them with us, we're going to share them with the rest of America. Pretty good arrangement, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Good stuff. All right, folks.
Got a good contract.
Exactly. Well, coming up again, we're going to talk about that smell of rain, where it exactly comes through. That's part of today's brainstorm. So we're going to let that storm your brain. Plus, we got the severe weather we're going to be seeing all as we make our way into the weekend. But first, take a look at the shot of New York, and now a shot of Minnesota radar. Minnesota radar, things are getting a little bit active out there. That story's coming up in just a few moments. Sit tight, grab the umbrella and coffee. It's good times.
Life is a journey. There's a starting point and an ending point. Between these 2 points, we sometimes lose our way. Until the day comes when our travels bring us full circle, returning us to the place where it all started, reminding us why we're on this journey to begin with. Find something more in Illinois.
This year, make every amazing despicable. Wizarding second of your vacation count by staying where the adventure never ends. Come with me now. 2 theme parks, spectacular resort hotels, more epic than ever. Don't just vacation. Go with me now. Vacation like you mean it. Universal Orlando Resort. Go big with hotel rooms starting at just $102 per night with free breakfast.
What's up with your car?
Pretty sure it's possessed and out of warranty.
I'm going to cost you a fortune at the dealership, Cheryl. Well, at Midas, our experts will tell you what needs fixing now and what can wait. And they don't laugh at people. I'm sorry, Cheryl.
No, I'm not. I am not sorry at all. Get the Midas Touch maintenance package with oil change, tire rotation, and more. Use your Midas credit card and get a rebate of $20. Go to Midas.com to make an appointment. Trust the Midas Touch.
Your heart is precious. One of many ways to support its health is new True Heart from One A Day. It's the only heart health supplement with ingredients to both help lower bad cholesterol and support healthy blood pressure, and also includes CoQ10. Try new True Heart.
When you're waiting for summer, every second feels like an eternity. So when it finally arrives, make every second count on a Sea-Doo watercraft. With 14 models to choose from and starting at just $49.99, there's a Sea-Doo that's right for you. At the Countdown to Summer sales event, get up to a 5-year warranty or save up to $1,000. But hurry, this offer ends May 31st. Go to Sea-Doo.com or your local dealer for details.
The termite swarm has come. Enter the legions of Terminex with 85 years of experience and the strongest guarantee in the business. Sorry, termites, we got a swarm of our own. Not here, not now, not in my house. Terminex.
You and me, we could be bad, but then we'll certainly get around. Oh, you and me, we could be bad, but then our feet can't touch the ground.
Conceal cracks and splinters with the ultimate do-over for wood and concrete. Don't replace, resurface. Behr Premium Deck Over, exclusively at the Home Depot.
think the tree we carved our names in is still here?
That's probably dead.
How much fun is this?
What?
What a beautiful sunset.
If you like sunsets.
Whether you're sweet or salty, you'll love Nature Valley Sweet and Salty Bars.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program,
And it just hit us.
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 76. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
To the Lone Star State we go. People in Denton County, Texas, being warned to be ready to evacuate. Water level at Lake Ray Roberts is 7 feet above flood stage. Hard to believe, folks. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is releasing water into Lake Louisville by way of the Trinity River. And now there is a possibility the river could overflow and flood homes in the spillway or even cover roads. The floodgates have been open since Saturday. Right now, they're releasing 15,000 gallons of water per second. Good gracious.
Just to try to bring some relief there.
Absolutely.
And, you know, in Houston, we're hearing reports earlier of water rescues there dealing to flash flooding there. So Texas just really lighting up this morning. We're going to continue to track
They
that.
are the bullseye of rough stuff today. We're going to follow them. We're also following some other cities this morning. Hartford, Connecticut, you're beginning your day. Beautiful city.
It is.
Beautiful city. Isn't that fantastic?
It's beautiful out there. It's a little windy this morning.
It is a little bit windy there, and it's also going to be a bit on the cool side. This cloud's going to stick around until around 3 p.m. Then we're going to see those move out. Plenty of sunshine in the afternoon.
Yeah, and with those winds, red flag warning, so
There you
no
go.
burning out there. And hello, Charlotte, you're starting off with the clouds out there, but just be a patient man or woman. You are going to see that sunshine coming back. Temperature right now, 62 degrees, and no problems with visibility. But, you know, you kind of had a crummy weekend, and you started off your week with the clouds, but things are going to be improving.
My goodness. You know, one of the big issues that we're going to have, those, Jen, is we've got the storms. They're going to be rumbling back up on the plains. But let's get started with the big picture.
Yeah, and the big picture is full today. And as we show you what's happening on the ground, you'll see the radar lighting up once again across Texas, as well as for areas including parts of the West Coast. Got a low there. And what we're going to be looking at is actually the jet stream starting to get active again. Kind of the same pattern what we saw last week and the week before. But for today, we are going to be looking at some thunderstorms arriving, and this includes areas including parts of Kansas as well as into Oklahoma down towards Texas. When you have these storms around, of course, this is going to lead to problems with flooding. And Texas, we are talking right to you this morning because you've seen the heavy rain across parts of Houston. But as we go through Friday, this means that flood threat is going to continue. You'd like to get more of that rain in the western part of Texas, but right now it's coming down in the east. And then for the third story, we're going to be looking at that severe weather threat just ramping up once again, starting to kick in, especially as we get later into the week, and then it goes full blast for the weekend. We're already looking at some torcons for the weekend, right around 4, potentially going even higher. Friday into Sunday, we're going to look at that dry line coming into effect. Here comes that low, but we're looking for parts of the plains, and then Saturday it moves into the Midwest, talking about the big cities like Chicago, St. Louis, Indianapolis, and of course, Dr. Greg Postel will be breaking down that severe weather threat.
Absolutely. And speaking of Dr. Greg Postel, we need to go to him very quickly. We've got breaking news, a tornado warning in Texas. Dr. Greg, take it away.
Yeah, we do for Nueces County, Texas. This is just east of Corpus Christi, and we've got a pretty strong thunderstorm with a likely of a water spout attending it. And let's move it as you go through the radar here. You can see this is until 6:45 a.m. Central Time. The circulation of concern is right in there, and let's zoom in real close with the velocities. And you can see that earlier had a very tight couplet of reds and greens together. There was likely a strong rotation and a water spout with it. In fact, the twisting motion there was about 100 miles per hour. It looks like it's it's weakened a little bit, but the Weather Service has gone ahead and issued a tornado warning for that sort of odd-looking polygon right in here for the coastal waters and actually right on shore here in the Barrier Island just to the east of Corpus Christi. Again, this is Nueces County in Texas. Watch out for the possibility of this thing moving on shore. Here's a live picture of Corpus Christi right now. Obviously, it's raining hard, and that's the other thing. You won't be able to see this moving on shore if indeed it does, because there is so much rain and clouds. It will move on you with little or no advance warning. So take cover now in case this indeed is a waterspout. Moving on land would then become a tornado. It's just a matter of where it is. Waterspout on water, tornado on land, same thing. It's coming your way. So be on the lookout for that. Take cover in the area, Nueces County, for another 15 or so minutes. This thing is moving to the northwest at 15. We'll have all the latest for you indeed as it rolls in. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Dr. Greg. We're going to, folks, coming and check in with some of the top news stories with Anna Rittis Rodriguez. She's in Dallas this morning. Anna Rittis, take it away.
Good morning, Reynolds. Good morning to you at home. We begin our headlines in the Mid-Atlantic. The biggest story coming out of Philadelphia. Federal investigators there on the scene of a train derailment. Authorities confirming that 6 people are dead so far. More than 140 hurt. All 7 cars jumped the tracks. The train traveling from Washington to New York. In the meantime, overseas, Nepal's Emergency Operations Center says a missing U.S. helicopter has been located, but there's no word on the 6 Marines and 2 Nepalese on board. They were helping with earthquake relief. Radio chatter points to a fuel problem. Here back home, Toyota and Nissan recalling 6.5 million vehicles due to airbags that could explode. The recalled cars manufactured between 2003 and 2007, exploding airbags linked to 6 deaths in Hondas. Those are your headlines for this hour. Reynolds, we are live in Dallas, Texas this morning. We're going to continue to follow that developing situation, of course, in Corpus Christi and potential flooding here in Dallas County, as well as north of us in Danton County. Stay with us on AMHQ and through the morning on the Weather Channel. We'll be right back right after your local on the 8s.
Who says desirable can't also be responsible? With 46 standard safety features, the Lexus RX is proof that fun can be good for you. This is the pursuit of perfection.
It starts with a subtle wave, then builds into soft fingers, lifting sails and spirits. Nothing makes us feel more alive than a summer breeze, drifting with us on the water, chasing us through the trees, and playing along the whole day. In the Great Lakes Bay region, the summer breeze is blowing. Where it's headed is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
If you're an adult with type 2 diabetes and your A1C is not at goal with certain diabetes pills or daily insulin, your doctor may be talking about adding medication to help lower your A1C. Ask your doctor if adding once-a-week Tanzium is right for you. Once-a-week Tanzium is an injectable prescription medicine that may improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes, along with diet and exercise. Once-a-week Tanzium works by helping your body release its own natural insulin when it's needed. Tanzium is not recommended as the first medicine to treat diabetes or in people with severe stomach or intestinal problems. Tanzium is not insulin. It is not used to treat type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis and has not been studied with mealtime insulin. Do not take Tanzium if you or your family have a history of medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you're allergic to Tanzium or any of its ingredients. Stop using Tanzium and call your doctor right away if you experience symptoms of an allergic reaction, which may include itching, rash, or difficulty breathing. If you have signs of pancreatitis, such as severe stomach pain that will not go away and may move to your back, with or without vomiting. Or if you have symptoms of thyroid cancer, which include a lump or swelling in your neck, hoarseness, trouble swallowing, or shortness of breath. Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medicines you're taking. And if you're nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Taking Tanzium with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases your risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects with Tanzium include diarrhea, nausea, injection site reactions, cough, back pain, and cold or flu symptoms. Some serious side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney failure. Ask your doctor if adding once-a-week Tanzium is right for you. Go to Tanzium.com to learn if you may be eligible to receive Tanzium free for 12 months. Make every week a Tanzium week.
Someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Relief Chews. They work just as fast and are proven to taste better than Tums Smoothies assorted fruit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
If your car's side glass gets broken, trust SafeFlight. SafeFlight has more glass in stock than anyone, and we'll get you back on your way fast.
Thank you so much. Good as new.
That's another SafeFlight advantage.
SafeFlight Repair, SafeFlight Replace.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures, and every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 76. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back. Tip of the cap to Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago. That's right. Beautiful blue skies, guys. It's going to be a great day in Chicago. Temperatures going up into the mid-40s from Wrigley Field all the way to Navy Pier. It's going to be beautiful. However, it's not going to make it out of the 50s today. Temperatures across the Midwest, 5 to 15 degrees cooler than normal. And Jen, after today, we're going to see temperatures going up.
Yeah. That's right. You know, when you go out the door this morning, that sunshine's almost going to fool you. You're like, oh, it's beautiful. It's sunny out. It's going to be nice. And it is nice. It's just going to be cold. So you're going to need maybe that light jacket out there because you are still looking at those winds just being a bit on the cool side coming out of the northwest. As we show you right now, temperatures in the 40s and the 50s out there. This time yesterday, we had actually a little bit warmer temperatures. Notice some rain moving through parts of the plains. As we move that ahead and show you throughout the day, we're going to see those numbers climbing generally into the 50s and the 60s. Yeah, we're going to be cool for this time of the year, but some areas like Des Moines as well as Minneapolis, they're going to be looking at the 60s as well as the upper 70s, but Detroit as well as Indy, you're going to be looking at the 60s, and those are actually running about 5 to 10 degrees below average for this time of the year. But notice no clouds out there, nice and quiet with that ridge of high pressure in place. Problem is we have another strong disturbance that's going to be spinning and making its way through parts of the plains. This is what we're going to be setting up for Saturday into Sunday. This starts to fire off as we're going to be looking at thunderstorms out there, some of those becoming severe. We're going to be looking at torricons in some of these locations right around 4. But for the Midwest, your rain starts on Saturday. We'll see it for areas like Chicago as well as into Minneapolis. And then Sunday, it just starts to creep into parts of the Ohio Valley, knocking on the door of the Northeast. We'll really see that there by Monday. But Chicago, your forecast shows you got a couple really nice days ahead. For today, cool, 54 degrees, a few more clouds on Thursday, and then dry on Friday. So we're going to call this the pick day of the week because after that, you're kind of looking at sort of a crummy weekend. I know there's still some graduations and things going on, so just be weather aware. Here comes Sunday. We're looking at that severe weather threat, much like what we saw last week, and really about the same time with Saturday and Sundays. Reynolds, will send it over to you.
All right, thanks so much. All right, cool kids. You know, one of the most delightful smells in the world is the rich, earthy scent after a fresh rain. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, you don't like it?
No.
Oh, come on.
It stinks.
But, you know, most people assume that odor comes from the rain itself, but believe it or not, it doesn't. Sam Champion explains in today's Brainstorm our wow behind the weather.
You know that smell that comes after a rainstorm? It's a unique scent called petrichor, a scent that actually doesn't come from the rain at all. It comes from the ground, starting from an oil that many plants secrete into the soil. This oil mixes with a compound produced by bacteria in porous, clay-based dirt. It's the mixture that produces a distinct smelling gas trapped in the soil. That is, until a raindrop comes to trigger the release of the scent from its soil holding pen. Here's how it works. The raindrop lands on the soil, flattening and compressing the gas. That forms bubbles as small as 5 microns. They're smaller than the average champagne bubble. And in case you want to know what a micron is, it's a millionth of a meter. Now back to the bubbles. They burst and release. And just 2 microseconds later, faster than the speed of a synapse firing through the human brain, these bubbles float through the raindrop to its surface. There they burst and release aerosols, carrying the distinct smell that we think is the rain. This phenomenon is most pronounced during light rain when droplets are moving just under 10 miles an hour. That's the speed of drizzle. This slow speed allows enough time for the aerosol bubbles to form, which is why the smell of rain is most potent during or after a light rain. And get this, some scientists theorize that humans are programmed to like the smell of rain because our survival depends on water. And in fact, our sense of smell is so attuned to the scent of rain that it can detect the aerosols in concentrations as low as 5 parts per trillion. And that's 200,000 times more sensitive than a shark is to the smell of blood. And you've been brainstorming. Sam Champion, the Weather Channel.
You don't like the smell of rain?
I don't like the smell, but I love the brainstorms.
Oh, yeah, you too.
You can geek out on this.
You can, but that is amazing. I do like the smell of rain. It's like Brute by Fabergé.
No, I don't like the smell of rain. I'm sorry.
You don't like it
No, like the rain, but don't like the smell. But you know, we have some big time rain that's been coming down through parts of Texas, and we have some photos courtesy of you for our My Weather, and we want to show you some of these out of the northern parts of Texas.
My goodness.
Look at this, a car submerged there. This is out of Clear Lake. That's in the very northeastern part of Texas, and this area is showing you just what happens when you get days of heavy rainfall. Let's move that and show you the next photo. This one out of Antelope, Texas, and this is one of our viewers, and they said that what a difference this makes.
Unbelievable. Yeah, let's see, 5 acres full went from dry to about 40% full.
40%.
Amazing.
I mean, that's really helping, especially for some areas with the drought. An incredible photo coming out of Massachusetts. The quiet behind the storm. You see the clouds clearing out?
That is spectacular. All right, folks, we're coming up after these commercial breaks. We're going to have the very latest what's happening in Houston, Texas, and Dallas. Stick around.
And cool northeast.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with Canine Advantix 2. Its broad spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. Canine Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
Pillow of the ear.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Take ZQL and sleep like you haven't seen your bed in days. No, like you haven't seen a bed in weeks. ZQL, the non-habit forming sleep aid that helps you sleep easily and wake refreshed. Because sleep is a beautiful thing.
There was a time when the sea gave way to the sky, and the sky to the sea, raising an amazing city into a destination like no other. Atlantis. Where legends are born and memories are destined to live forever. Book now and receive a $250 airfare credit, plus a free shallow water dolphin interaction. Offer ends May 20th. Visit AtlantisBahamas.com.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
Hi, I'm Earl Stewart. At Big Dog Ranch Rescue, every dog has a name. Every dog has a story. Every dog deserves a loving and safe home. Earl Stewart Toyota is dog friendly, and you can come meet our dog of the month right here at the dealership. When you adopt one of our sponsored dogs, I will pay the adoption fees. And of course, at Big Dog Ranch Rescue, there are never any dealer fleas. Earl Stewart. Oh, come on.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
We had kids still into school.
And it just hit us.
This was it.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things are just going everywhere. It was a nightmare. And then it was silent.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Winds east at tonight. Partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 76. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Listen up. Saving a pet from a hot car may not be the right thing to do, and believe it or not, well, it may be the right thing to do, but it could get you arrested.
It could get you arrested, and I would be the same person right there with the handcuffs out there, right? Well, this is what happened to a Georgia man who smashed out a car window to rescue a Yorkshire Terrier, or a Yorkie. You see them there panting. Well, with the temperatures yesterday in the upper 80s and inside the car even warmer, and he thought it was dangerously hot, the Army veteran went into action, said he had no choice.
I heard somebody say there was a dog in distress in a hot car. I just did what had to be done.
Okay, so the dog's owner was also cited for leaving the dog in a hot car. Now, a new Georgia law allows Good Samaritans to save a child from a hot car, which is good. Right. But not a pet. Come on.
It would be better if they would
sense.
allow you to for a pet as well.
Should be blanket. Should be all the way across, allowing either. Anything
I'm
that's in
smashing
distress.
windows if I see it.
Window smasher.
I
That's
am.
what she does. Hey, someone else who does that at times is Dr. Greg Postel. He's our man. But hey, he's got a serious subject. And Greg, I know we're talking severe weather. Texas, certainly some issues there.
Yeah, Reynolds and Jen, let's go to that first right now. We've got, of course, rainy times in Texas, but also earlier we had a waterspout offshore of Corpus Christi that has moved closer to shore, but I think we don't have a waterspout anymore, but some gusty winds certainly to move in. Let's have a look at the overview across parts of Texas, and it is very rainy and stormy. Right now, we don't have any tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings. We earlier, about 15 minutes ago, had a tornado warning for this storm right in here that is moving toward the northwest, just south of Port Aransas, getting close to Corpus Christi. And here's why we had the warning with it. Because there was a possible, if not likely, waterspout earlier, right in there. Can you see that little couplet of reds and greens right in there with the inbound and the outbound velocities right next to each other at pretty strong values, actually, about 100 miles per hour worth of wind inside of that. It's weakened considerably on its approach to this barrier island, but let's look in the high resolution radar to show you exactly where this thing is, because I think even though there may not be a waterspout anymore, if there is one, it's right in here. I don't think there is anymore, but I still think there's probably 40 knots of wind with that as it moves toward the Corpus Christi area, just south of Ingleside on the bay. And this whole thing is moving that way. This thunderstorm is going that way. And I think, again, some strong winds there, enhanced 40 to 50 miles per hour, working its way across the bay. So keep an eye on that one. We'll let you know if any warnings pop up there. Speaking of windy times over the ocean, look at this beast. We're all way now on the western part of the world here, Western Pacific Ocean. This is an 85-mile-per-hour Category 1 typhoon, just another name for a hurricane in this part of the world, moving west at 12 miles per hour. It is likely going to get very close to Guam in the next couple of days, and that would be the earliest on-record tropical cyclone to impact Guam in May. That's never happened before. This is the 7th tropical system, typhoon, out in this named system in this part of the world. That is the earliest that this part of the Pacific has had 7 such systems. Looking at the water vapor right now, it is pretty impressive, but you know what? There may be a little bit of a saving grace in here. It's this dry air. You see that red shading in here? Very dry air aloft. It's probably trying to get out of the way, but if it hangs on, it's probably going to ingest itself into the circulation and maybe keep the intensity at check. Anyway, in other words, not allow it to grow super strong, because some of the forecasts have it going up to a category 4 over the next couple of days. I do have my doubts on that. But let's have a look at what it looks like right now. There's a pretty small eye that showed up right there. It's now obscured a little bit by some of the higher clouds, but still, this is a very, very powerful circulation, and I would not be surprised to see the next advisory come out a lot higher than 85 miles per hour. It may indeed be that, because look, there's a pretty small eye in there and a lot of convection. You see that rugged appearance of the clouds, overshooting tops. Talk about Cape and tropical cyclones. Yes, there are big thunderstorms out here. You might think of tropics, Cape. I didn't think there was any. There is. Tropical cyclones feed off that very warm water and can get those thunderstorms with updrafts that are pretty strong from time to time. This is a forecast from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. You notice how they have it getting close to Guam, if not right over it. That would be the center of circulation, and then strengthening on its way into the West Pacific. But they have it up to 145. We'll see if it does get there that strong, because of all that dry air that's kind of in the way. We'll just have a look on that. But you know what? It may be stronger than where it is right now. So I don't know. Maybe in the end it all works out. Guys, back to you.
Dr. Greg Postel, you know, Typhoon Alley, it has just been ripping and roaring this season already.
It has.
Really early.
And we got a long way to go. And we also have a long way to go in parts of Texas where we've had more than 4 inches of water falling overnight in Houston, 18 inches of rain falling so far this month in Dallas. And we're just talking mid-May.
Yeah, and we'll find out what all this means for those creepy little mosquitoes. Are they coming out sooner? We'll let you know. And our Anaritis is in Texas right now, and we're going to be talking more about that story. But we also want to show you some live views out there in some areas like Atlanta. We're starting off with lots of sunshine out there and some relief from the heat.
Should be a beautiful
and humidity.
Day. Yeah, it's going to feel like summer out there. I know we're gazing into spring and whatnot, but I mean, it is going to be very, very summer-like out there. High humidity, plenty of sunshine. We got your full forecast, what to expect. Dallas, though, the big story, as you mentioned earlier, it's
clouds, rain.
Johnny, even after careers like ours, we're still going strong.
What's your secret, Richard?
Blue Emu. It's got an active ingredient to relieve my muscle aches and joint pains. Blue Emu. It works fast.
And you won't stink.
Blue Emu. It works fast and you won't stink.
Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. The seal you can trust, with stain and sealer in one, and easy to choose colors. Exceptional beauty and protection have never been easier. Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. Available at the Home Depot.
Hey ladies, you love it. You gotta have it. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, because that cinnamon and sugar is so irresistible. Everybody craves those crazy squares.
Your relationship with your dog is pure. It's innocent. It's work, but it's perfect. You wouldn't trade it for the world. So protect your dog with Trifexis. Trifexis is the monthly beef-flavored tablet that prevents heartworm disease, kills fleas, and prevents infestations, and treats and controls hook, round, and whipworm infections. Treatment with fewer than 3 monthly doses after exposure to mosquitoes may not provide complete heartworm prevention. The most common adverse reactions were vomiting, depression, and itching. Serious adverse reactions have been reported following concurrent extra-label use of ivermectin with spinosad, one of the components of Trifexis. Prior to administration, dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection. You'll take it all, the good and the bad, because that's what makes your relationship irreplaceable. Protect your dog all year long with the 3-in-1 power of Trifexis. Available by prescription only. Talk to your veterinarian about how to protect every second you share together.
One of the foot's favorite rituals happens at the water's edge. Here they must look their best. Smooth, beautiful skin is an advantage. The others can only hide in shame. Introducing the new Dr. Scholl's DreamWalk Express Pedi.
Fact. Advil is not only strong, it's gentle on your body too. No wonder doctors and patients have trusted Advil for their tough pains for over 30 years. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
良質熟練の技革新1000年の歴史を持つ文化が 最先端の製造技術を使うと待てよあれこれってクライスラー
Reliability is now an American thing. Introducing the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import. Find it at Chrysler.com.
You wouldn't buy a car without taking it for a spin. And it's, well, just a car. Test drive our full lineup, only at your local John Deere dealer.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 76. Thursday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And good morning, Wednesday, May 13th. I'm Reynolds Wolf in for Sam Champion. Today's headlines, we got a lot to cover, especially in parts of Texas where heavy rains in Houston. Wow, look at this. Happened overnight. This car submerged in its own front yard. Over 4 inches of rainfall in just a matter of hours. More on the docket today. Flash flood watch in effect for much of the state. And rivers rising from all that heavy rainfall. Live look at the Trinity River in Dallas. Levels very high after days of downpours. Flood control is on the alert. And our Anna Rodriguez, she's going to have a live contribution coming up in just a few moments from Dallas. But first, Dr. Greg Postel. What a day.
More rain and more severe weather, right, for Texas, I think. Look at our map here. The area shaded in red. We got a shot for severe storms. I think that would include even the possibility of a tornado or two, but I think that would come much later this afternoon. But still, right now, good news is no severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings. We have a couple of heavy rain flash flood warnings out for the coastal parts of Texas. We'll talk about that coming up. But later on today, watch out for that area in red, Midland, Del Rio, San Antonio, Austin, for storms with big hail, possibly some high winds, and maybe even a tornado or two. Reynolds, back to you.
All right, Dr. Rigg, thanks so much. A flash flood warning this morning in Houston, Texas. Hobby Airport picking up 4.3 inches of rainfall. Now, much of this happened from 10 o'clock last night and into this morning. The heaviest rainfall now shifting to the northeast and east of the city. Water is rising in many spots. Areas around Dallas, we've got the ground that remains saturated from the excessive rainfall. You've had heavy rain in Dallas, up to 3 inches possible more rainfall through the evening. Now, flood control headquarters in Dallas are on alert for possible problems along the Trinity River. The issue, a 1-2 punch from runoff from the days and days of heavy rainfall. And then upstream, you've got the dam releases from Louisville Lake and also Lake Ray Roberts. We're lucky to have Anna Rodriguez with us. She's live this morning along the Trinity River. That's just in the Dallas area. And Anna, the city has picked up a staggering 18 inches of rain so far this month. We're not even halfway through May.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Reynolds. Good morning to you at home. We're going to give you an update on the Trinity River and the water levels there, but I want to start with the developing situation that we're seeing in southeast Texas. If we can show you the pictures that are coming into our newsroom, they're absolutely incredible. A flooding in Houston. Look at those cars completely submerged in water, all the way up to the window of the door. We're hearing reports of heavy flooding along 45 South near the Gulf Freeway. This is in Houston, Texas. We're also hearing of flooding in Corpus Christi. We know that the Clear Lake Independent School District is on a 2-hour delay, and so is the Corpus Christi School District. Texas DOT officials urging everyone to really be aware and check drivetexas.org for any flooded roadways, and we do have a lot of standing water on the roadways. We also have a lot of standing water right behind me. This is the overflow of the Trinity River. Water levels after this weekend's rain were at 35.7 feet. That's about 5 feet above minor flood stage. This morning, they're around 25
4 feet, but as you mentioned, Reynolds, as they continue to release the Army Corps of Engineers, the overflooded lakes up north, that's going to feed into the Trinity River and possibly cause flooding. When you add that plus the rain that's coming later today here in Dallas, a cool start for now, but where's this water going to go and what kind of problems is it going to cause? Talk about that with us. Joining us this morning is Zach Thompson. He's the director of the Dallas County Human Health Services Department. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us this morning. All of this standing water is a perfect breeding ground for mosquitoes. We actually had to pull out the insect repellent, and I think I had a mosquito for breakfast. So what have you been noticing because of all this early rain, or all the rain that you've seen in May so far?
Well, it's good you got the mosquito repellent, because with a lot of rain, we're going to see increased number of mosquitoes. That doesn't mean they're carrying any viruses, but the key point is use your mosquito repellent, and around your homes, remove standing water. You've been trapping mosquitoes year-round. Any positive ID so far? To date, no positive mosquitoes. It would be pretty early if we did, but we stay tuned, because with the increased rain and with the breeding of mosquitoes, it's important to trap year-round to make sure we get early notifications. Zach Thompson with the Dallas County Health and Human Services Department, thank you so much for talking to us this morning. Of course, we're going to continue to follow the potential threat for flooding later today, not only here in Dallas County, but also Denton County, and continue to follow the latest developments in Houston. Reynolds, back to you.
Absolutely. And Riddison, one of the developments we're following in Houston is actually going to be an interview. We're trying to we're efforting right now with a gentleman in Houston. Get this, America. He has a flooded situation in his house where the water is up to 6 inches deep. He says the home is now unlivable. We're going to have his story coming up in mere moments. Now, with more than 4 inches of rainfall falling in the Houston area overnight, your morning commute, you know it's going to be very dangerous. And checking out the roads this morning, standing water, wet roads are making for a very messy morning rush hour. This is a city, many places, the frontage roads, we have the low-lying spots, poor drainage. It's not unusual to have flooding in Houston, but with the forecast, the way it stands, we're going to see heavy rainfall possibly for days to come. So this problem is imminent. Not something that could happen, it is happening as we speak. The widespread rainfall that we have in Texas actually moving some to the east and northeast this morning. Greg, I know the southern plains are going to be in for another round of severe storms as we get into the weekend.
Yeah, and also today, Reynolds, we know it's rainy there now, and that's going to be the theme for this afternoon. I think we'll see a lot of heavy rain with even severe weather there across Texas. Let's go to the maps and show you where it's raining right now. All the way really from Midland to Houston. There's some dry spots in between, obviously, but it is very rainy. A very humid air mass is in place. Look at the one-day total estimated by over 10 inches of rain. That's a 24-hour period. Of course, some of those areas may have received even a little bit more than that. Looking at the satellite pictures, you know, you might think, it's not that impressive, right? I don't see much there. Aha! I do. I see a pretty strong upper level circulation here, a pretty potent dip in the jet stream right out here. This upper level low is lifting the atmosphere out ahead of it. That's what they do. When you track those things, you don't look exactly right over them. You look ahead of them. That's where the lift is, and that's what we're seeing, that ascending, that rising motion over Texas over a very soupy air mass. And you know what that means? When you lift that very humid air, you get a lot of rain. Look at the rainfall forecast for the rest of today. There are going to be spots that have more than that locally, certainly where those thunderstorms hang out over one spot, but 3 to 5 inches, no problem. I think we'll have that in places today. Let's time it out now for everybody, showing you it's going to be rainy this morning, but then later on this afternoon, back out in here, watch out, the dry line. There will be a dry line, which is sort of separating that humid air from the east and the dry air to the west. That's going to ignite some thunderstorms right out across this area. Look at some of these guys. And these could promote high winds, big hail, maybe even a tornado or two. So watch out. San Antonio, Del Rio, every small town and big town in Texas, in between Lubbock and San Antonio, you've got the risk for severe weather late this afternoon and the evening. And of course, all the heavy rain continues to move only slowly eastward overnight tonight. Jen and Reynolds, back to you guys.
Okay, thanks so much. You know, temperatures staying on that frame in the southeast, they've actually fallen a few degrees, so we're going to be cooler today.
Yeah, cooler. And you know what else we're going to be? Drier. It's not going to be as damp out there. How about a live view for Atlanta this morning? It is Wednesday. You're waking up to crisp conditions out there. Here's the live view. Just a few clouds passing through the sky. Winds right now from the northwest. That's important because that has dropped the humidity. Dew points right now are actually in the 40s. This time yesterday, we had already started off in the 60s. That's that amount of moisture in the the air. So let's move that ahead. Right now, 63 degrees, but we're going to climb very quickly as we show you for areas like Raleigh. Expect to see the sunshine increasing, and temperatures today climb to 81 degrees, a couple degrees above average. When you're talking about 81 and low humidity, hello, who's complaining? As we look ahead for your day, looking at the temperature starting off in the 60s, look at that cooler, comfortable air in Memphis, 58. As we go through the afternoon, high of 84 for Charlotte, 91, 93 in Tampa. Florida, you are smoking hot out there. New Orleans, 87 degrees. For Atlanta, we're going to be dry for Wednesday and Thursday, really comfortable out there. But then you're going to start to see that moisture increasing. Rain arrives on Friday, and you know what this is setting up for? Another wet weekend for areas like Atlanta and across parts of the southeast. Here's the forecast. Memphis, Monroe, Houston, as well as into areas, the parts of Florida like Tampa. As we look ahead through Saturday, rain for Memphis. Notice for the Carolinas as well as Atlanta, you get a break from the rainfall, but then that returns on Sunday. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about severe weather setting up once again for the weekend. Reynolds.
All right, Jen, thanks so much. Coming up, we're going to be talking about breaking news out of Houston. Flooding, a tremendous issue this morning. We'll get the story for you coming up on the other side of this commercial break.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under fair skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 76. Thursday, partly cloudy. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And breaking news this morning from Metro Houston. Houston, Texas, where between 6 inches, 9 inches of rainfall fell over the past 24 hours, causing all kinds of problems in the southeast suburb. It's called Webster, Texas. And KPRC's Brandon Walker has got the story for us.
We're here in Webster, Texas, just off Interstate 45, where there has been some progress this morning as floodwaters have receded. Take a look at this gas station here behind me. Just 2 hours ago, it was completely submerged in water. Many of these cars have been here all night. Some have stalled. Those drivers have been stranded, and they're hoping to go home. Some of them looking forward to this lull in rainfall to get to where they need to be. Spoke to one man, though, who tells me that despite the water being down, he can't go anywhere because now he's got a flat tire, and that's what he's up against. But I want to show you something. That's Interstate 45 there behind me, and you're looking at the on-ramp to Interstate 45 northbound. Drivers telling me that if you're in a truck, you can get your way onto the interstate and make it to where you need to be, but if you're in a low-lying car, it's going to be more of a struggle. And that's what drivers here in the area, in the Webster area, are dealing with as those heavy rain showers moved through last night. They came through quickly. They came through packing a mighty punch, and you saw some significant street flooding here. It's beginning to subside right now, and so some drivers, as you can see, are pressing their luck, hoping to get to where they need to be. For some, that means getting home for the first time since about 10 o'clock last night. Reporting from the Weather Channel for the Weather Channel, I'm Brandon Walker. Back to you.
Okay, Brandon, thanks so much. Jen, I know we have some pictures, social media that's coming, all kinds of things telling the story in.
Yeah, coming in from Clear Lake, that's just right outside of Houston. That's part of the area there. I want to show you some of the flooding there. When you're talking about 4 inches of rainfall, even some parts up to 6 inches, you see this car here submerged. This is out of the front yard of one of our viewers there. And certainly when you're looking at images like this, we want you to know, you be careful out there. 6 inches, that's all it takes to be swept away. And 2 feet for your car. Let's move that ahead. We have some more images coming out of Clear Lake. This showing you a parking lot. This is what happens after 5 hours and 2 feet of water finally recedes. Tow trucks are now being called in to move those cars that basically became inoperable and stranded after the water came up there.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Look at this.
And this one, here's the truck there. It got all in the house, a very long and bad night. You see the kitchen there. This is the last thing you want to see.
Absolutely. And with the ground saturated, knowing that we've got more rain in the forecast and more in store for the weekend, Texas. Good gosh almighty, get ready for that. Obviously, the story that we have for you in places like Dallas, all the way to Houston, we got problems all over the state. Really huge mess.
And this one right here, actually coming out of Texas. This is out of Clear Lake, so no, this is not California. We're looking at flooding again. The car is basically isolated 2 feet from my garage door. I mean, that's so dangerous.
Unbelievable. And this one, of course, this is, let's see, this is still in the Houston area, right off Clear Lake, near Space Center. Those roads all flooded. That is a mailbox. Hard to believe. You see the silhouette of it sticking out of the
And
water.
we're also hearing reports that schools are actually on delays, and rightfully so, trying to drive a bus through those flooded streets.
Smart move by the school system. All right, folks, let's switch gears a bit. Let's take a live look at Orlando, and we've got a cloudy start to your morning. Temperatures will be going up into the 70s. We're talking those high, thin clouds. Not much in terms of the rainmakers, but when you have the colliding sea breeze by the afternoon, you may have some thunderstorms. Be prepared for that. And of course, some delays out at the airport also. All right, folks, again, great shot that we have there. That is just spectacular. What has not been spectacular is this horrible story out of parts of the Sunshine State. Florida law enforcement officials are looking into the death of a 16-month-old girl. She was reportedly left in a hot car. This happened yesterday. Columbia County Sheriff's Office responded to a 911 call saying the toddler had been inside a hot car and was no longer breathing. Temperatures in that county reached 90 degrees yesterday. This is the second hot car death reported in the United States this year. Folks, you've got to be careful what happens. Those temperatures inside the car turns into an oven. So dangerous, so quickly. Southeast all the way from the Mississippi River to the coast is going to be warm. It's going to be humid. It was yesterday. Jacksonville, Florida, 92 degrees. You had that all the way down to Sawgrass, Ponte Vedra, up to Jacksonville, Neptune Beach, clear over to Tampa. Same deal there. Certainly dangerous stuff. On average, folks, one thing you need to know is with kids that happen to be left inside cars, on average, 38 kids die each year in those hot car deaths. So there's a couple things to keep in mind to keep your children safe. First up, you want to make sure that there's something that you're going to need, like your cell phone, your handbag, maybe a briefcase on the floorboard in the back seat. And what this will do is this will ensure that you're going to see your child that could be in his or her car seat. Also, make arrangements with your child's daycare center or babysitter, saying that you're going to call if your child will not be there on a particular day. I mean, just small things like that, Jan, can make a tremendous difference.
Yeah, you have to have a plan. Make sure you remember, because people get so caught up in their day-to-day activities. Well, we go from the heat and we talk about the cool air that's in place across parts of the Midwest. Good morning to you, Detroit. A little bit chilly out there. High today, 59 degrees. Right now, 46. So your numbers, they aren't going to be climbing much, despite the fact that you are going to be looking at a lot of sunshine. Be patient. Temperatures warm right up for the upcoming weekend. As we show you right now, look how quiet it is out there. Clear skies, and the temperatures have been really cool out there, and this is helping that. A little bit of rain moving through areas, including the plains. We'll see that. But overall, nothing happening precipitation-wise. But notice for Chicago, you're going to be 15 degrees below average. High today, 54. Minneapolis, you're going to warm up to 68 degrees. Louisville in the 70s, as well as some 60s out there. So we're below average, but we're also looking at that very dry air in place. But the problem is, change is a coming, and we're going to see it because once again, much like the pattern that we saw last week and the weekend before, severe weather ramps up for the weekend. All that Gulf moisture pulled in, that means increasing humidity, severe storms possible. We're going to be looking at torcons already for the weekend, setting up for right around 4. We're going to continue to track the flooding in Houston as well as the big cool down across parts of the Northeast right here on AMHQ.
Unbelievable. Toenail fungus? Seriously?
Smash it with Jublia. Jublia is a prescription medicine proven to treat toenail fungus. Use Jublia as instructed by your doctor.
Look at the footwork.
Most common side effects include ingrown toenail, application site redness, itching, swelling, burning or stinging, blisters, and pain. Smash it.
Make the call and ask your doctor if Jublia is right for you.
New larger size, now available.
You do all this research on the perfect car. Gas mileage, horsepower, torque ratios. 3 spreadsheets later, you finally bring home the one. Then smash it into a tree. Your insurance company's all too happy to raise your rates. Maybe you should have done a little more research on them.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
We could tell you about the years of research and development. How we forged advanced high-strength steel to make the frame stronger yet lighter. The countless hours spent testing the suspension and tuning every sound from the engine to the trunk. But until you get behind the wheel, you have no idea. The completely redesigned Hyundai Sonata.
We all want that little black dress moment, that look good, feel good moment. But when you're overweight, it's more like little black dress. I don't even want to get dressed. I'm tired, my knees hurt. I'm not going up those stairs again moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm Marie and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Now you can lose weight fast with Nutrisystem's Fast 5 Plus. Lose 5 pounds in your first week, plus 1 inch off your waist for your money back guarantee.
You'll get perfectly portioned meals that are ready in minutes. So there's no counting, no measuring, no guesswork. Simple.
Order your 28-day Nutrisystem plan right now, including Fast 5 Plus. Get 1 week of specially selected meals. Plus, you'll get 1 week of energizing shakes free and 1 week of Craving Crusher shakes free.
This is your moment. Don't wait. Start looking and feeling great today.
Call now, 855-807-THIN, and lose your first 5 pounds fast.
Oh, sorry, my babes are all crazy. I was just jumping.
You know, this sets women back like 30 years.
This is the only cardio I will do! Into the jungle! Behold! Crushed it.
Rated PG-13.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 76. Thursday, partly cloudy. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, days after Tropical Storm Ana made landfall, parts of North Carolina is still feeling the effects. Several feet of water is pooling in front yards after more than 6 inches of rain fell in Lenoir and also in Jones County. Water so high, a boat was actually brought in to help rescue an elderly man who fell in his home and actually broke a bone. When rainwater eventually goes away, an environmental specialist will test the drinking wells have not been contaminated, that it could be a tremendous issue. Well, for that, we're going to switch gears a bit. We're going to talk about some severe weather that could be popping up across the parts.
And we're going to go to Dr. Greg Postel. And Dr. Postel, in addition to the severe weather, we're also going to be looking at the problems with flooding setting up across parts of Texas, and it's going to continue.
Yeah, they're kind of going together, right? We have the severe weather that's in part being fueled by a very moist flow out of the Gulf of Mexico, which you know means more rain for Texas. But let me step back here and show you the pattern last Saturday. Remember we had some tornadoes last Saturday? This is what the jet stream looked like. Again, for reference, this is last Saturday. We had the dip in the west and the ridge in the east, bringing moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. This was sort of associated with the southern branch of the jet stream. We had last Saturday quite a few reports of tornadoes. Doesn't mean there were 50 tornadoes, but there were reports of them. Some could be reported the multiple storm. But the idea is that there were quite a few of them both Saturday and Sunday with that dip in the jet stream in the west. Looking ahead to this Saturday, I don't see a whole lot of difference in that jet stream. There's still going to be a pretty active southern branch there with a trough in the west and the ridge in the east. So you get the sense that we could see at least some tornadoes this weekend, and it probably does warrant our torcons of 4 in the northern plains, 5 in the central plains, 50% chance there of a tornado within 50 miles of a location. That's on Saturday. And on the farther to the south, across parts of the Red River Valley of the South, we'll see a tornado risk there as well. On the water vapor imagery right now, you can kind of see things organizing, or at least where they're coming from. There's a lot of swirliness going out here, but if you blur your eyes and get the big picture, the high altitude motions kind of look like that. There's the big dip in jet stream in the west, and inside of that, there are some pretty potent circulations that are going to release the instability that's going to be developing over the next few days. So let me show you what the upper level weather charts look like with that dip in the jet stream in the west, with the cold air aloft there. That storm system is going going to be moving eastward over the next couple of days and find itself in that familiar spot that we saw in just the previous graphics, which is in a place that is going to allow some significant thunderstorm development to take place again in the middle third of the country. If you look at all the individual ingredients by then of what we'll have quite a few of them, right? We'll have the fronts here, a warm front and a cold front. Those will help initiate thunderstorms, but so will the dry line, which is a boundary between the very moist air flowing out of the Gulf of Mexico and the dry air from the west. That's this feature right in here. So the Gulf moisture, of course, adding to the rain, but also fueling the thunderstorm. So we'll have it all this weekend, not just Saturday, but also on Sunday. We have Torcons. The system continues to move to the east. Torcons a little farther to the east on Sunday and going to South Texas as well, where we've got 30% chance there of a tornado within 50 miles of a point. Coming up at 50 past the hour, look at this. It is a typhoon, but it's not in the Atlantic. Take a breath. It's in the Pacific. This is in the West Pacific. Typhoon Dolphin. Yes, right now it's an 85-mile-per-hour typhoon. Just another name for a hurricane in this part of the world. How strong will it get and who will it impact? We'll talk about that, guys, coming right up. Jen.
All right.
At 50 past.
All right. You love the typhoons. Well,
I do.
Hey, we got 3 things that you can talk about with your coworkers or your friends today. Well, look at this. They look like flash bulbs in a stadium, but this is actually lightning. It's flashing as the International Space Station passes over India. Talk about timing. Well, this video from NASA's astronaut Terry Virts, he shares some of the most incredible views from space. Now, get this. He's been orbiting the Earth since last November, and now it looks like his mission's been extended to June. Well, here is a unique way to promote acceptance. How about some traffic lights actually showing you same-sex couples? Well, you can see several different styles. Now, nearly 50 of these have been popping up across parts of Vienna, Austria. They'll be up there for the next 6 weeks. If you're wondering why, Vienna, they're hosting the Eurovision Song Contest, a popular songwriting competition in Europe, much like American Idol. Well, it's the most drought-stricken state in the country, but can you believe this? Some major companies still get their bottled water